So my name is Kate Ranta, and I'm a survivor of an attempted murder by my ex-husband. He shot my father and me in front of my then 4-year-old son, his own son. Both my father and I and my son were lucky to escape with our lives. It's a miracle, basically, that I'm sitting here right now. And it's also an honor and a blessing to be here to celebrate the progress that's been made under the Violence Against Women Act and to talk about the work that we still need to do, obviously, especially when it comes to protecting women from gun violence. So on November 2nd, 2012, it'll be almost 2 years now, my worst fears were realized. My estranged husband showed up at my home, an address that I had not given him, looking for a confrontation. My father was there, and we were pushing against the door so he couldn't come into the apartment, and he fired shots directly through the door. And then he entered the apartment and fired additional shots. My right hand, it exploded in front of my face. I fell to the floor and was screaming and begging and sliding in my own blood. Another bullet went through my left breast, so it missed my heart by millimeters. If I had been turned any other way, again, I wouldn't be here. My father was shot in his left arm and in his side at point-blank range. My son witnessed the entire event from the beginning to the end. He cried and begged his father, "Don't do it, Daddy, don't shoot Mommy." My son said that. By a miracle, we were able to exit the scene. I had to be flown in a helicopter to the hospital and receive an emergency blood transfusion. My father was taken to the ICU. My son was transported to the police station where he was interviewed, 4 years old. He didn't know if his mother was alive or dead. He didn't know if his grandfather was alive or dead. He didn't know what was happening. My estranged husband was arrested at the scene, and he's been in jail awaiting trial ever since. So it's been almost 2 years, and we still haven't had trial. My right hand is still numb and stiff. My thumb and index finger have very little feeling. I have to be careful about using my hand every day, especially with temperatures. I can't feel hot and cold. I've been diagnosed with PTSD, and I have triggers that set off anxiety. For example, fireworks. This past 4th of July, I was curled in a ball in the fetal position holding my ears. And I used to love fireworks. My father had a bullet removed from his side, and his left hand is still disabled. My son, he's a true survivor, though. He's almost 6 now, and he's probably the strongest person that I know. We can't predict yet, though, how this is going to affect him in his future. But, he's surrounded by love and by positive male role models, and he has no contact with his father at all. He lost his parental rights after he did this, so the system did do something right with that. And we're a strong family, and we're doing, the best that we can. The healing process post-shooting has been long and difficult. The physical pain was bad enough, but the emotional healing obviously runs a lot deeper. It's obviously, I still can't get through the story without crying. I'm more vigilant than I used to be, and I struggle with, why and how could he do this to us? I struggle with anger toward him, and I'm sure you hear this from survivors. I struggle with a lot of guilt and even anger toward myself for not seeing, for not seeing him for what he is. And I know a lot of other survivors that feel the same way. I also struggle with anger about gun violence against women. I fight about it almost every single day on social media. But I'm happy to be here today in order to talk about this. Unbelievably, my story is not unique. Women in the U.S. are 11 times more likely to be murdered with a gun than women in other high-income countries. The majority of women killed in this country are killed by an intimate partner with a gun. Violence against women is directly related to our weak gun laws, and I know that from living in Florida. I believe we can do more to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people and convicted domestic abusers like my ex-husband, while still protecting the rights of responsible gun owners. That's why I joined with Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America and Everytown for Gun Safety. I want our elected officials to know that we demand common sense gun violence prevention policies to help save lives and to help other families from the tragedy of gun violence. Nobody should have to go through what I went through and what my family continues to go through. This is ridiculous, and things need to change now.